Okay, perfect. So thank you, Primala, for asking this very important question. So, as we know that one of the two pillars of Toyota production system and thereby lean is built in quality. Question is how to implement. Excellent question. The answer will come if we understand the very basics about the thinking behind this concept. The thinking is that at every stage of the process itself must be able to detect any abnormality and notify and stop, and shall not produce till the time that abnormality causing situation is eliminated, right? So can you see the simplicity of the whole concept? We are focusing on creating a mechanism, creating a process where we have broken down the whole process into various process stages. Every process is comprising of so many process stages. Sampath, Paras, Nitesh, yes or no? And we are creating such mechanisms that detect any abnormality, and not only they detect the abnormality, Siva, they also stop producing, and they also notify the operator, because the whole idea is that when we are, and probably yesterday you were given that exposure, that whenever we implement this particular concept of built-in quality, that does two things. One is that facilitates the machine themselves for with the competency of detecting any abnormality and thereby detaching the man and machine. That means a person, for that matter, I am just using man to mean man and woman both. Okay, so to detach a person from the machine so that he can operate some more machines. Otherwise, hope you will remember, and I will give you one very simple example. Nowadays, I have got a automatic cloth washing machine in my house. Almost all of us have. What really happens? What I do, and early in the morning I get up, put all my clothes into that washing machine, and just instruct that washing machine to wash them, and I move away from that washing machine, and I do something else. I do my gardening, or I read my newspapers, or whatever. I am not really required, I am not forced to stand in front of the machine and keep watching whether or not everything is all right. Suppose there is a there is no water in the overhead tank. Somehow that is a possibility. So the water will stop coming to the washing machine at the necessary process stage when it wants water. Then what will do? Will it start keep running, or will it stop? Yes or no? It will stop, and it will trigger a alarm. Tring 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 tring. That's what it is doing. It is number one, as I mentioned. It number one, it will detect the abnormality. It will stop. It will not really go and burn. Yes, and it will. It has already detached me. It has already freed me to take care of my other tasks, to my gardening or my newspaper reading. But if there is any abnormality, it will notify, meaning it will inform me, so that I can come and take care of that particular fact. So the baseline is that we must break down all our processes into very small process stages. Fact number one. Fact number two, it is easier said than done. Please note that this detection, this elimination of the mistakes, all that will require a very thorough knowledge and understanding of Pokayoki concepts. How the machine will detect until unless there, let us say, some sensors. It is either sensing by the location, it is sensing by the weight, it is sensing by the time duration, it is sensing by, let us say, the temperature variation that has happened. For it to stop, it will have to detect the abnormality. Yes or no? And please note, going even deeper from there, to be able to detect the abnormality, we will have to tell the machine, and for that matter, we will have to know what is abnormality. Yes or no? And that means we will have to learn the tool and the concept of FMEA, failure mode and effect analysis, which is also at times known as risk analysis and risk mitigation. Can you see, all these are so very interlinked with each other? Now, I trust that all of you are following this discussion that Parimala has just initiated, a wonderful discussion she has initiated, that how to implement built-in quality concept. For that matter, I have just told her, and please show up on screens so that I can quickly know that who all are really following this discussion. So the point is that how to implement this concept. The idea is that our machines shall be able to detect abnormality and stop and notify, and shall not start until unless that abnormality is removed. Yes, the situation that has caused that abnormality is corrected, so that this makes sure that no defective product is passed on to the next process stage. And this will require all these concepts. This will require us to be able to break down the whole overall process into various process stages. What skill it will require? It will require us to have the skill of being able to draw process flow diagrams. Then what is an abnormality? We will have to define at every process stage. Please note that typically in the organizations, and I am happy to note that so many of you are very senior professionals. Typically in organizations, what happens? We have defined abnormality only at the end of the process. Can you see that? Typically, Mani bhai, what happens? Shova ma'am, what happens? You have defined that, okay, this is the exact color I want to have of my, let us say, final furniture. Final specification you have defined. But intermediate process specifications, what shall be the grade of the color? What shall be the composition of the spray that you are spraying? What shall be the temperature at which you are curing your furniture while it is getting dried? Until unless you have specified that, do you think that you will be able, Shova, to get the correct final specification? Yes or no? Just try and visualize. Shova, just try and visualize that both you and me, we are opening a furniture manufacturing factory. I will make it very simple. We are making a furniture manufacturing factory. Sampath Anandji is our customer. I have defined that, okay, this particular brownish red is my final color. That is agreed between customer and the supplier. Yes, but until unless, please tell me, I specify that at the wood selection level, if I select dark gray wood, will that result into that proper shade? It may or may not. If I have defined the consistency and the shade of the spray I am going to really spray on the wood, until unless that has been defined, do you think the final product will be alright? Until unless I have correctly defined that at what temperature, for what duration I will really cure after spraying, do you think it will result in? So the process level specifications, processing parameters will also have to be correctly understood, defined, communicated, monitored, and our machine shall be made intelligent enough to detect any abnormality. If the temperature is not what I meant wanted it to be, then my sensor shall be able to detect and stop. This will make sure that no defective product is moved from one process stage to the next process stage. So can you see that the concept and competence of process flow diagram, the concept and competence of risk analysis and risk mitigation, the concept and competency of uh, mistake proofing, all this will be required. The concept of internal customer and internal supplier will also come into play, because until unless you are knowing that every next process is your internal customer, you will not define specifications for them. So, Parimala, your question is very well valid, and this, in a way, defines every activity that we are going to do for a lead project. Understanding customer expectations, understanding the process, understanding the processing parameters, defining the processing parameters, communicating them, monitoring them, raising red flags, making machines competent in themselves. That is all. So this is quite a task, but yes, that is exactly what we are getting paid for. Yes or no?
In machine design process itself, it is taken care of.
Exactly. Exactly. So the process design, machine design. So very.
So I worked in a honing machine
Mhm.
where there are three stages. One is a pre-honing, whether it is qualifying for the honing, it will check. Then only it will accept the pre-honing. Then after pre-honing, again check. Then it will go to the semi-finish honing. Again there is check, and it accepted only go to the final honing. And there is again check. If it is okay only, it will give in the final box, green box. Otherwise, wherever it is checking and identifying, it is not specification to the exact to the specification, it is pushing it to the green red box. So this is what the honing process machine itself is designed to work like that. It's a Nissin honing Japanese machine.
Excellent, perfect example. So this incorporates every point that I just explained, Parimalaji. So thank you very much, Natarajanji. I want everyone to clap for him for giving us such a excellent example. And why it is called built-in quality, because typically we say that the quality cannot be inspected in. Quality cannot be inspected in, because typically organizations which are not so really focused on these concepts, what they do, they carry out end of the line inspection only, and they are not concerned about quality being built inside the product while it is moving in through your manufacturing process pipeline. But
Companies call inspection is a post-mortem.
yes, exactly.
Correct.
And then
Final.
You already produced, and now you are going to say it is okay or not.
yes, and that is exactly why, thank you Natarajanji once again, and that is exactly why we are talking of built-in quality. At every stage, we are building quality inside and preventing poorly made products from moving. So, lot many concepts here, and thank you very much. For anyone else want to add any example to this, Paras? Would you like to give
Yeah,
us any
yeah.
example?
In the metro train,
Yeah,
after closing of all the doors, only my train will move. The it has to self.
yeah,
Yeah.
excellent, 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 excellent example. Wonderful example.
So one more, yeah, one more
Yes,
thing, sir. In the car itself, there is a built-in quality. When
yes,
we put the key inside and you try to close the door, it won't allow. It
yes,
will signal, and it will tell you that your key is inside. It won't allow you to lock the door, lock
exactly,
the car.
exactly. So many concepts. And thank you very much for Sampaji for bringing them. So this is one of the examples also that we can use when we are going and explaining the mistake proofing. Pokayoke.
Okay, okay.
Sampaji,
Okay, okay,
Okay.
right?
examples.
So this is a wonderful example of Pokayoke, and equally good here, because that is really preventing any mistakes from happening. Ultimately, this concept of pokayoke, this concept of really what I mentioned, this FMEA, failure mode and effect analysis, or also known as risk analysis and risk mitigation, all these are part of how do you create a built-in quality. Yes, and one of the very important point that just came up during discussion with Parimala ma'am is that until unless we have process stage level specifications, and that is quite a task. Typically, we have got for us specification for the final product only, but not specifications for processing parameters while the process is happening. So you do not know at what temperature you are supposed to cure, and then we are fighting with our people. So thank you very
3D
much.
concept is one of the built-in quality. 3D concept.
3D. I am not aware. Can you please elaborate?
Don't accept the defect, don't produce the defect, don't pass the defect.
Perfect. Excellent. 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 Or that is wonderful, and thank you very much. Because in other words, sometimes, what I tell, and although my wife is sitting here and she might not like this example, and so what really happens that whenever she goes and purchases some vegetables, so typically she says to the shopkeeper that, my dear bhaiya shopkeeper, give me very good potatoes or tomatoes. And then the fellow will very smartly put a couple of poor quality tomatoes in the bag. And then she will come home and then she will tell me that, my dear husband, this shopkeeper is no good. He has given me these poor sadela tomatoes. And I always tell her, and she becomes very angry with me. I always tell her that he has not given you only. He is to be blamed. You are also to be blamed that you have accepted because you have not checked. And that is exactly why what Parimala ma'am told. So whenever I conduct my own consulting assignments, I give them a oath. How many of you understand Hindi? But this is simple. You will understand. मैं ना तो खराब प्रोडक्ट लूंगा,
We
ना
practiced
खराब
in our
प्रोडक्ट बनाऊंगा, ना खराब
this
प्रोडक्ट दूंगा. I will not
it was
accept poor quality. I will not make poor quality. I will not deliver poor quality. Yes, Natarajan.
yeah this was practiced in my company Rane TRW steering system in Trichy Viralimale plant.
Yeah.
So in the start of the shift, every operator will take the oath. I will not accept poor.
Yes.
I will not accept defect. I will not produce defect. I will not pass
Pass
defect.
on that effect. Yes, exactly. So thank you very much. So that is exactly what we are doing here. So this is also how you make sure that built-in quality concept becomes a part of your culture, becomes a part of how everyone thinks and believes and therefore behaves. Yes. Okay. So with that, we will all of you are senior professional, but still, for the sake of covering the syllabus, I would like to very quickly take you through the 5S concept also. So, friends, can you see my screen? Yes, please
Yes.
confirm. Okay, so
Yes.
5S.
Yes, sir.
We'll not spend too much of time on 5S. You people are seasoned professionals, but yes, just to touch base. So 5S are, and then after completing 5S, we'll move on to a very interesting topic: cycle time, takt time, lead time, throughput time, and all that we are going to cover today itself. 5S. 5S are five Japanese words, all of them starting with S alphabet, have been translated into English also in such a manner that the English translation all words also start with S alphabet. And this, my dear friends, is the foundation of any lean transformation project. And this also, Natarajanji, is that magic pill that I was talking.
Yeah.
So I and almost all the smart, I am really taking the liberty of calling myself smart, but please don't mind. So all the smart consultants, what do? They start with 5S. This makes your shop floor look remarkably, demonstrably better than what it used to look like. And that creates a very strong impression on the management, on the team, everyone. So how do we continue with 5S? It is very important. And one point is something very important I would like to really draw your attention to. Typically people are who are not so much initiated into 5S, they think is 5S is about housekeeping, making things look neat and dust free. That is a big misnomer. Big misnomer. These 5 steps, they have to happen in this particular sequence only. Have to start with sort and go on. The shine is third S. So typically, when we are not so very clear what we do, that when we say that we are going to do 5S, we just know mop things up, remove the dust, and think that we are doing 5S, which is not the case. It is such a detailed topic. Hope you probably people might have noticed. We are at Vision Excellent conducting a 2 day complete session which runs for 2 complete days on 5S only. It is such a detailed and such an important topic. The next 5S, I have just conducted my 5S auditor batch for ran for 2 full days, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for 2 days. It is such a detailed topic, and you might enroll for the next course, right? So there will be notification coming to you. 5S. So can you see this is a typical situation of a shop floor? Can you see some problems here? And we'll come back to this slide and then we'll realize that there are so many problems in this shop floor, this arrangement. And after doing 5S, this is what improvement has been made. So before 5S, after 5S, there are two photographs, two sketches. They are there on your screens. Now 5S is going beyond just cleaning. It helps you eliminate the wastes that you have identified. We have identified the waste for waiting. We have identified the waste for motion. We realize that there is a most waste called overproduction. We realize that there is a waste called inventory. All these can be taken when our organization is having a good 5S implemented in them. It will prevent all those wastes happening in our organization. Can you see from this arrangement to this arrangement, when you move, what benefits can you see here? Can you see less tiredness for this person? Yes or no? Can you see this will, since the tools are there, he will not have to really bend backwards and pick up the tools. Tools are now accessible. There is a limit to the inventory that can be kept here. With these slanting platforms, with these rollers, things are moving automatically without needing any human effort. He can detect any abnormality, any loss of tools immediately. Can you see so many defects? You name, and I will tell you that this is how. What were the 8 defects we discussed? Transportation, moving goods unnecessarily. Goods are now moving automatically on these slanted roller beds. Can you see my cursor here? My dear friends, Paras, Sampath, can you see my cursor here?
Yeah.
Motion, can you see?
Yes, yes.
Instead
Yes,
of
we
bending
can.
down, picking up these tools, he is now having access. Overproduction, over processing, inventory, everything is under control. Defects will not happen. So I will play this and just see. This is in some other context. this particular discussion he will be talking of Kaizen, but I want you to look at the extreme levels of 5S here. Everything has got a labeled location, easily accessible. Can you see that? I will play this video.
Visitors to factories in Japan often remark how carefully and neatly the tools and working materials are arranged. This is actually the key to efficiency. When tools are laid out clearly and conveniently, no work time is wasted looking for them. And logical pre-positioning of materials reduces time spent transporting them to workspaces, lessening the danger of collisions en route. Such techniques for improving work efficiency and safety are known as Kaizen, a Japanese.
So hope you saw the very nicely arranged shop floor, and just for the academic interest, the video of this factory that I've just shown you, everyone is somehow or the other physically handicapped, but they are working in a perfect sync. Inventories are controlled, efficiencies are high. So these are, my dear friends, the 5 Japanese words: siri, sito, siso, siketsu, sitsuke, and they, when translated in English, are sort, set in order, shine, standardized, and sustain. And they have to happen in this order only. That is a point I would like to make very strongly. You cannot really jump to shine until unless you have done your sort and set in order activities. Then we go and standardize, and then we go to sustain. So sort means removing everything that is unnecessary. I will be sharing this presentation so you can have a look at your own time. So then there is a concept of red tag. Things that are you have identified that shall be moved, they are moved to red tag area with a tag attached to them, which is red tag. And from the red tag area, people who need them can pick them up from there. And for every red tag, the name and the department and why it has been moved, etc., is kept there. So then the next is set in order. So the point is that when you set in order, you identify appropriate places. Sometimes it is said, and which is correct also, a place for everything and everything in its place. Typically, when somebody explains what is 5S, they will say Parimala, Paras, Sampat, Aditya, Sova, Mani. They will say
2S is
Nitesh.
point of view. Everything should be stored point of.
Yes, so there must be, when we say that everything in its place and a place for everything, just as you have very correctly pointed out, must be visible, must be in view, and there must be appropriate place. Tell me, if something is very heavy, shall I keep it on a top rack or at the bottom rack? At the bottom rack. Yes or no? There's less risk.
Yes.
Something that I use very less frequently, shall I keep it very close to me or can I keep it at slightly away rack? If I do not use it very frequently, I can keep it somewhat away. Yes or no? Something that I use very regularly shall be at an arm's length away. Yes or no? So set in order. Can you see, is everything all right here, or there is something that can be improved further when we are setting in order? Can you see, these are some tools that this fellow is going to need on everyday basis, but he has made such an arrangement that he will have to really climb on a stool to really pick those up. So can we have an arrangement where he can very quickly pick them up like this? Yes or no? Can you see improvement from here to here? Yes. Similarly, we can create this kind of arrangements also, and this is not limited only to the people who are working with no nuts and bolts and spanners. It is equally useful for your office desks also. And for that matter, my own office desk looks like this. So we have created this kind of arrangement. And this also helps you detect abnormality. Parimala, to answer your question, how do you make sure built-in quality? Suppose if I've got two green markers, I do not have a location for second green marker. I will be able to detect. Suppose I am missing the whitener is not there. When I come and open my drawer, whitener, I will be able to detect abnormality. Yes or no? So abnormalities are detected and thereby we can take action on the abnormalities. Third, my dear friends, is shine. And please note that when we shine, we are able to identify the sources that are making our machines or our environment dirty. If you are the one, and Sampath bhai, Aditya bhai, that
Yes.
you are supposed to clean your table every day, then after a few days you will think, yaar bhai, why, from where this dust comes, why not prevent that source of dust itself? Otherwise, and in some of the companies, and for that matter, hope some of you know that I am working for Kaizen Institute also, one of the very premier reputed institute, as a senior consultant. For in Kaizen Institute, we have got a 10-minute slot for doing everyday 5S. Everyone, starting from the CMD, they clean their own workstations on everyday basis. And this 5S is applied to our laptops also. So we are supposed and forced to keep our files in very neatly arranged manner, and we are advised to keep removing redundant files and all. Can you see? So this 5S concept is not limited only to the shop floors when we are working with nuts and bolts and spanners and machines. Also equally applicable to the offices when you are working with files and papers and highlighters and pens and printers. Equally applicable to your laptops and desktop computers. Equally applicable to your smartphones. Can you see that? So you keep removing unnecessary things, and for that matter, on a lighter note, on a philosophical note, you got to do 5S in your head also. Throw out the bad thoughts, keep only good thoughts. Okay, so shine, then standardize, making standards so that this becomes easy to follow, becomes easy to audit. That is how it remains sustainable, and then only you can compare between various teams. Yes, so it is standardized, and then standardization also helps you control inventory and create visual workplace. And this is also one of the magic pills, Natarajanji, that really will help you control. Can you see why I have created this color coding on the this pillar? It means
Yeah, it shows reordering level or
exact.
availability, no, non-availability like that.
Yes, exactly. So this is also one of the examples of doing your good 5S on your file. So suppose if I take this file out, immediately this tape will tell me that one file is missing. Yes or no? So in a way this has dictated not only that the yellow files will be located in the second rack, this is also dictating that this file will be on the right hand corner of the second rack. Yes or no? Parimala? Sakti?
Sir, we are maintaining in my office.
Perfect, perfect, excellent. Similarly, this way also on a shop floor you can identify locations, and any abnormality will be immediately detected and brought to the notice of the people who are managing the show. Then sustaining means auditing, keep guiding, keep motivating people, trainings, audits, rewards, recognitions. Probably we will not need to play this game, but yes, this is a number game, very popular. How many have how many have you already played this?
Yeah, yeah. We have done this.
Yes, so you can go to YouTube and find. So it is simple. So first thing that the first test that we do is that, can you see this is two, this is two, too many?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So the at the first stage, remove the unnecessary. Do you need two, this two and this two? No. So you remove that, and then you have then another, because the task is to identify only till 49. So do you require 74 and 68 and all? No, you remove those, and then this way you have arranged. So now very quickly this happens. So this is how 5S things happen, and this is how overproduction, unrecognized non-essential tools. So this was a very quick touch base on 5S. This is a detailed topic, however, and very impactful tool. Highly impactful. I want and I recommend all of you become highly competent in implementing this 5S. So this really takes care of inertia. This is that magic pill that demonstrates that how beneficial your initiatives are going to be. With that, let us now spend some time on cycle time and takt time. Okay, very good. So, we'll spend our efforts and energies now on understanding what do you mean by cycle time, takt time, and what are the ways so that we can make sure that we are meeting the takt time. We will also learn what do you mean by throughput time, what do you mean by lead time, and how do we achieve throughput time and lead time reduction. Hope you remember that when we discussed about the three measurable objectives of TPS, they were highest quality, lowest cost, and shortest lead time. So, lead time is also something very important for improving the performance of our business. For that, we must know what exactly is lead time, what it is comprised of, and if we want to achieve the shortest lead time, how we shall move so that we can reduce the lead time. For this discussion, I will take you through all these definitions and we will develop a very comprehensive understanding of all these concepts: lead time, cycle time, takt time, throughput time. All four are different, my dear friends. Please pay 100% attention to this discussion. All these four time terms are extremely important for a lean consultant, and all the four are different. We must have proper and correct understanding. What do you mean by these? I will start with even more basic definitions, and we will be talking of 10 very frequently time terms that have got time, so that we will be developing a very comprehensive understanding of all these terms. So now, suppose all of us are ready to pay 100% attention, because this will require 100% of attention. Please show me a thumbs up and please come on camera so that I can make sure that everyone is getting. My dear friend, suppose I open my factory at 9 a.m. My factory opens at 9 a.m. and I close my factory at 6 p.m. I am open from Paras 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. What is my open time? What is my open time? 9. Yes, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. this is my open time 8 hours. However, I already know that I will be not working half an hour for my planned maintenance time. This is already in the plan, right? And I will not be working half an hour for my lunch break. This is already planned. I already know this. So, what is my available time now? Parimala, what is my available time now?
8 hours.
7 hours.
7 hours. Correct. Open time is 8 hours. Sampaji, Parimala, Paras, Shiva.
Sir, my internet is low.
Open time is 8 hours. Available time is 7 hours because I have already planned that I will have a half an hour break for maintenance and half an hour break for my lunch. So, is that now clear to everyone? Show me a thumbs up. From this point to this point is my
Yes, sir.
available time. My available time. Out of this available time, what happens? Some time I spend in this setup. I come, I start my boilers, they come to a particular temperature, ovens are heated, chillers get to a particular temperature. So everyday basis, some time is used for setting up. That will be once a day activity. Yes or no? Do you think that when you really open your offices, chillers are at the correct temperature? Boilers and ovens are at the correct temperature? No.
No.
So some time is invariably spent in setup, right? And suppose you are making, this is where some changeover happens. Before that, this is your breakdown time. You have not planned that. You are not happy with that. But that is happening. So now please tell me, out of my available time of 7 hours, if there is this half an hour and this 15 minutes, how much is my downtime? 45 minutes. 45 minutes, yes or no? And the rest of it is uptime. Very, very important. The rest of it is uptime. Show me a thumbs up. What is my downtime? 30 minutes here,
45 minutes.
30 minutes
45
here,
minutes.
15 minutes here. What is my downtime? 45 minutes. And the rest out of the available time is my up time. Now within my up time, and please note that is very critical, within my up time, this is my uptime, this is my uptime, this is my uptime. Yes, within my uptime, there is my setup time and changeover time. Setup time and changeover time, by definition, are considered to be part of your uptime only. You can argue, you can debate. Yes, Natarajanji, Parasji, you people are senior consultants. Maybe you can take up this on various forums and you can argue that why shall we consider the changeover time or the setup time as part of uptime. But as of now, as per dictionary, these are to be considered within your uptime. Everyone clear about this? Why I am taking this setup time and changeover time as part of my uptime. Are the concepts getting clear to everyone? Show me a thumbs up. Yes. So we have discussed my open time. Yes or no? From this time to this time. We have discussed my available time. We have discussed my downtime. We have discussed uptime. And within uptime also there will be setup time, changeover time, and this much is my productive time. And obviously I want to reduce my setup time. I want to reduce my setup time, my changeover time, and I want to reduce my breakdown time. Yes or no? What is a tool for reducing breakdown time. What is the concept? TPM, total productive maintenance. If you are
SMED. For changeover time, it is
for
SMED.
yes, for changeover time it is SMED. So
For
we'll come.
breakdown TPM.
Yes, we'll come one by one. If I want to reduce my breakdown, what is the tool required? TPM. If I want to reduce my changeover time, what is the tool I am going to use? SMET, single minute exchange of time. Please,
Sir, I have a doubt here, sir.
yes, please ask.
How can you change the setup times for any production or any kind of a manufacturing line? We need the setup time as prescribed time, right? For instance, in our setup, by the time we start up the machines and all our tools are uploaded, no, we need that 5 to 6 minutes of all machines. The tools are heavy, and we deal with movies, and we deal with high-end videos, and we need that setup. We need 5 to 6 minutes from the day start, whichever shift we are in.
Very correct. Thank you, ma'am, for asking this very valid question, and the answer is within your question only. One is that invariably setup times are required. They are part and parcel of the way you work. Now, why the answer is within you? As you mentioned that there are heavy things that you move to while you are doing your setup. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And can you really use better machinery to move the heavy things instead of using 3 minutes for that your machine uses for that heavy thing to be installed? Can you have a better machine?
That would be difficult because we are using the cloud servers, and everything is centralized. So we take it up from different parts of the globe, and it comes from cloud. You know how the internet differs from Indian timings to Australian to UK.
Yes, but can we have better internet then? We were
Yeah,
moving from
that
1G
is possible. That is
for
possible.
moving 1G to 2G to 5G.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yeah, that's possible.
So, can you see that at times it will be difficult, but nonetheless possible and desirable.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes. Thank you, sir.
perfect. So now I want everyone to be very clear about this. This slide is going to take you a long way. What is the meaning of open time? Available time? Yes, Vignesh, please ask.
Sir, open time and available time is okay. Where is the planned time?
I will just
Planned production time.
please come
Available
on.
time.
Please come on camera. Let us discuss. Let let us take a case scenario. You and me are opening a factory. In which city you are in right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, both of us are opening a factory. The factory opens at 9 a.m. closes at 5 p.m. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. is my open time. Yes. However, I already know that I will be not producing for half an hour because I will be doing my TPM, and I also not be working for half an hour because we'll be going on a lunch break. So this is already part of the plan. We already know that. Therefore, how much time I already know is available to me.
Yes, sir. But sir, one more thing. Every setting change over time have a startup time also included. If any mold changes or if any dies or changes means that time also setting times also included.
Yes.
Then how to take my uptime?
Yes. So you are very correct, and that is why I want everyone to focus on this sheet. That is part of my uptime. It is eating away my productive time.
Yes, sir, I understand. Is it part of the available time? But why can't take the planned available time? See, planned time. Is it available time? Is it okay? Why can't I take the planned time? If every plan changing time, it will be fixed in the initial stage, production planning control. If any setting change over time, tool changing is the mandatory process. If can't do that, how to take the next process.
Yes, I
That is a
understand.
mandatory.
Very correct, very correct. You have asked a very valid question in a very valid manner. You see, this changeover is unavoidable. This will happen because from one particular product you will have to move to another product design. Yes, and for that changeover is necessary. Do you
Yes.
think that if you are having a changeover that takes 10 minutes, that is good, or you are having a changeover that happens in
Yes, sir. I
2 minutes?
understand. That time I using the SEMD tool.
Yes,
I minimize my tool changeover time.
yes,
It's a minimum time I taken. Maximum 5 minutes. It's a single digit number.
yes.
That
So
time I minus the. I mean, I'm planned hours. My minimum 0.5 or 5 minutes I consider to the planned hours. It's minus. It's Is it okay?
yeah. So you see, right now we are developing a general agreement between all of us that what we'll be calling it as uptime and what we'll be calling as downtime, and within the uptime, because as the broad definition we have discussed that out of the available time, let us start from the very beginning. Out of the available time, some time is lost because of the breakdowns. That is my downtime. Rest of it I have defined as my uptime. However, throughout my all my uptime I am not productive because
So one
some
second,
time
sir.
is again lost.
So one second, sir.
Yes,
When you're considering the for uptime, taking out the changeover and as well as your production, so we have come to the conclusion this is uptime. Okay. When you're coming for the downtime, we are not taking into the account because downtime also it's unacceptable. So how we have been changeover, been ready for that. Then we are giving the slot of 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the single digit time, and the same thing should be fall on the downtime. Why we are not considering the downtime into the consideration? That also foresee sometimes will happen uncertainty, and the changeover we are trying for a single digit term can be exceed.
right.
So the
So
same
I
principle should be applied for the downtime also. No,
yeah,
so
very
that is
correct.
also comes into the uptime only.
No, 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 no. That is just a manner of saying that the part where your machinery is down, you are calling it a downtime. That is
Okay.
also, I will just make a common consensus amongst all of us. When the machinery is down, what it is called? Downtime. When the machine is not producing because of setup, that time is also lost. It is lost time because of the setup. When the machine is not producing because of the changeover, that time is also lost because, and that lost time is known as the time lost due to changeover. So we are losing time because of primarily three different scenarios: machine breakdown, not desirable; setup,
Yes.
not desirable;
Changeover.
changeover, not desirable. All three are not desirable. We are all of us agreeable with that. Just a manner of saying I am saying that breakdown is breakdown time, the rest of is up down is up time. Out of those, these are also not required. Now there is no acceptable level of, for that matter, no acceptable level of changeover time also. When this concept started, it was known as SMET, single minute exchange of time. What was the meaning? That the time that we take in carrying out a changeover shall be having in single digit while being expressed in number of minutes. Now the concept is further evolved. It is called OTET, one touch exchange of time. From single minute exchange of time, we are moving to one touch exchange of time.
What does that mean? One touch exchanging of time.
You see, when we are talking of SMED, what was the meaning? Single minute. That is the number of minutes that you consume in changeover shall be less than 10.
Yes, that time. Yeah.
10 is a two digit number. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, they are one digit number. So
Yes.
when this started, the idea was that you shall improve your changeover process with a target that the time that you consume in minutes is in single digits, that is less than 10, right? And there are various concepts. I will be having a complete session on this: internal activities, external activities, how to convert internal activities into external activities, and then synchronization and all. There are quite a lot of tasks that go into that.
So one more thing I want to ask you, like some ED is fully prescribed for the changeover time. That is the less than 10 minutes.
Yes.
It comes around of 9, right? If you the style changeover is happening, like a SH will be like a 3 hours, and one is running with the 3 hours. Next style is coming out. So how it will become less than the 10 minutes?
Yes,
Because
that
the
is
time
what
is
that is what this tool does. When Dr. Shigo Shingo, who introduced this concept, and I've got this book, and if you want, I will share that book with you. Single minute exchange of die. He named this book as Single Minute Exchange of Die, a revolution in manufacturing. Let me see whether that book is where I've kept that. I don't know right now. Okay, so when he started, Dr. Shigo Shingo, he came up with this idea. The changeovers that were taking 48 hours, he was able to reduce them to 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And that is why he used to call it a revolution in manufacturing. People have taken them to further extremes, which is now called one touch exchange of die. You just touch a button, don't even press it, and the machines are so aligned that they quickly change, and there is no such so much time. I will ask you one question. Let us again once do a role play. Suppose, Paras, you have got a car. Okay, you have got a car, four wheeler. Yes or no? Let me say that I give you four spare tires. I keep four spare tires in your car's dicky. How many? Four. Right? And you have got your jack and all. You know how to change the tire of your car?
yes.
So suppose I give you four spare tires. How much time will you require to change all the four tires?
It an hour, like single person are doing, it will take an hour.
In an hour. Okay. Uh, anyone follows Formula One racing?
Yeah, that's different. That is different. They come at
Different
them
in
the
the
second,
sense
the
that
latest.
I'm just talking of the same task, changing all four tires. So there is one
Less, less,
situation,
less than 2 seconds.
less than 2 seconds, 1.83 is the record, right? So the task, please note, the task is what? Change all four tires. What is the task? Parimala, Paras, what is the task? Change all four tires. If we do not really pay attention how to really do it fast, we are thinking in terms of 1 hour, 2 hours. But if that is really critical, which it is in Formula One racing, they have found ways of automation, they have found ways of having multiple people assigned to this task, and I will show you that video and that is available on the internet. How much is 2 seconds? 1.83 seconds. All four tires changed. Can you see that? Using the
Yeah,
concept of
in our industry, we are in the leather field, right? So when you apply the edging, that gets of natural dry itself half an hour. When you go into the heat chamber, it reduces of 25 minutes or 20 minutes max, and it go to the natural dry, it goes up to 45 minutes. So when this is the position, how come I can come to the SMD section like less than the 10 minutes? So that is the
yes,
real task of us. We can't predict or can't reduce. So whatever you said, the Shingo has been done 48 hours to 4 minutes, the below the 10 minutes of SMED. But in our case, in our industries, we are facing a highly challenging on that particular part. it has to be dry. We have a 3-4 process, so it goes off, comes out in the high heat chamber, and sometimes goes in the natural dry. So hardly it will take a 45 minutes to proper drying all these things, like edging color. We'll be applying the coloring of the edges of the bag. So in that case, how can we come to the less than 10 minutes? That is the real task. We
Paras
tried
bhai,
and level best.
if I have understood it correctly,
Yes, sir.
we are for the example that you've discussed, we are probably confusing between changeover and processing.
Okay.
Just give it a thought. Right, so one is processing that you have, let's say, I've worked with artificial synthetic leather industry for around 10 years, so I know what we are really talking of. Personally, was heading the whole operations for artificial, also known as synthetic leather manufacturing in one of the companies in Jaipur. So probably we are confusing between processing and changeover. Changeover, the processing means that suppose you have applied a particular coat of ink on a particular piece of, let's say, leather. It will take 45 minutes to dry and cure and assimilate on that. That is part of your processing. But suppose I give you a task that in this chamber that you are curing the blue leather, the next leather is to be red leather, and you want to prepare your chamber for moving from blue leather to red leather, how much time will you require? That is your change over time. For that for that we will have to probably clean all the nozzles, we will have to clean all the pipelines, we will have to clean on the rollers. That is the task, right? And for that matter, the definition of changeover is from the last good piece, the time consumed between the last good piece of the previous production run to the first good piece of the next production run. That means we are talking of, Faraz bhai, two different products, and how much time we take for setting up our machinery, for moving, for discontinuing the production of the first product and being able to produce the next lot, second lot. So, have I understood your question correctly? When it is saying that it will need 40 minutes to dry, are we talking of a changeover?
It
No.
comes under the changeover.
Pardon?
It comes under the changeover. The product to product. The
Maybe
product
that,
A to product B.
maybe I have not understood your process correctly, but maybe we can discuss it separately. But
Yes.
the point is that suppose you want to change in a particular oven from one color to the next color, that is what I've been doing.
No,
So
no.
then this really comes in very direct terms, the changeover. Yes. Okay. So this is how all these three lost times are undesirable. This lost time because of the breakdown. What is the tool? TPM. These lost times because of the
SMED.
SMED, and maybe this lost time of the break. Can we have a multi-skilling people? Maybe suppose Paras and myself, both of us are running that factory. Is it necessary that both of us have lunch simultaneously? No. It is possible that I have lunch. When I have lunch, then Paras runs the factory, and when Paras has lunch, I run the factory. Yes or no? So it is also possible. Again, reducing the planned maintenance time is also possible. It is not necessarily that if you require for during the plant maintenance time to open a nut, you need 2 minutes, and you will definitely do 2 minutes only. That is not necessary. You can find ways, you can automate that. Yes, Vignesh.
Sir, apart from this, why Formula One race using only SMED? There is other way of to improve our tire quality. I mean, product quality improved means they are totally skip the tire changeover time. I mean, like SMED. Why don't do the improving our tire durability?
Yes,
If in case
possible.
that improved means Kaizen or SMED is also eliminated.
Possible.
That 4 manpowers, I mean, setting changeover time is low, less. That time, 1 or 2, more than 6 members we are using in the particular process. So manpower also is too much of usage. If in case product quality, I mean, tire durability to be increased means the most of the wastages elimination. Is it okay, sir?
Yeah,
Why
very
not
correct.
doing that?
You are very correct. So all these concepts, like you just very correctly mentioned, Vignesh, Kaizen. You can find out what is the better way. Kaizen is nothing but finding a better way of doing a particular task, so that it takes less time, it takes less effort, it takes less space, etc. So maybe by some Kaizen you can eliminate the need of changeover itself. Possible. Or you can reduce the changeover time drastically. And we will find ways by which there is a very uh, clearly and very scientific thinking that really tells us how to reduce the changeover. And I can assure and I can guarantee, if any task that comes up within this definition of the changeover that I've just given, I can demonstrate that that can be brought down to less than 10 minutes. That is a guarantee. Maybe I will talk to Paras separately and understand what exactly he's talking of. If he really talking of a changeover that is moving from one set of product to another set of product, and it is taking hours, then we can definitely find a way by which we can reduce. What are the internal activities? What are the external activities? Have we identified them correctly? Internal activities are those activities which are by their very nature necessary to be done while the machine is stopped. External activities are those that can be done while the machine is still running. And then what are the ways by which the apparently internal activities can be converted to external activities? And then what are the activities by which you can really synchronize better? Maybe that will require some more investment, and then there will be a uh, cost benefit analysis whether making that investment is more beneficial for you or not. For that matter, I will give one example. Once I worked with a dentist. As I was discussing, it is not limited only to manufacturing operations. I was once giving consultancy to a doctor, a dental doctor. He was having one dental surgery, uh, what they call operation theater, OT. Now, he was a very highly paid dentist, charging by minutes. But what was happening, that suppose there is one patient, he is working on his teeth, then before the next patient comes, that operation theater for the dental surgery had to be completely cleaned, very hygienically cleaned, and that used to take around 15 minutes. Can you see those 15 minutes of this doctor were just getting wasted on this changeover time? This was a changeover time. Paras, can you see that? Then what I advised, that based on the cost benefit analysis, I advised him to have another OT ready in his clinic, so that, and one person, so he was working in OT1, working on one patient, immediately he will go to the OT2 working on the second patient. While he is working on the second patient, the first OT is being readied by his assistants. Can you see his productive time was increased by 40% just by adding? But yes, we made a complete calculation that how much more money he will be making by attending to more patients as against the cost of creating another operation theater. And it is just the name sounds so big, but I hope all of you have been to a dentist office. So creating that table and all is not all that costly. It just costed him around 3 lakh rupees, and then he was able to make so much money more. Okay, so now we are now very clear that what do we mean by uptime and downtime and changeover time and setup time and plant maintenance time and all. And obviously we want to cut on all these times when we are not productive. Is that clear? Okay. Now since we have spent so much of time here, so maybe I will stop today's discussion here only, and in the next session I will take you through the definition of lead time and throughput time and cycle time. That will require a very intense discussion of around 1 hour, and based on that we will create our background for understanding the value stream map and how to draw actionable points from value stream map. Right? So today we will call it a day. Just want to have feedback from you people before we really close today's session. What can be improved? What you liked? What you like to be added further? I just want to hear from you.
Sir, this is a very important topic about the takt time, cycle time, everything. So we need a very simple and basic example to understand. Never forget in our life. That's the point I'm keeping in front of you.
Sure.
So the next session when you come, so we need a very simple because some people we don't have a mathematical ideas. We weak in that mathematical. So make them very crisp and clear of easy to understand so that we should have the properly in our guide.
Great.
And then efficiency part or the things that and all we are very interested to learn here. So that will help in the changeover in the IE part also. So some people have been talking about we not able to understand because we are in the mathematically we are not good in sound. So we need actually a basic thing. Some other people also yesterday been asked about the cycle time, but with the example, very basic example. That's a request I'm putting in your thing.
Definitely. I will prepare accordingly, and I am very sure that we will be able to understand everything in a very crisp and clear and simple manner. And yes, I understand that these are slightly more complex topics, so we will start with a fresh mind when we are not tired, and I will take simple examples. My only condition is that on that day, I want everyone to be on camera so that we can understand those concepts in such a manner, just as Bharat has very correctly mentioned, in such a manner that not to forget in for the rest of our lives. Now, for today's session, what is your observation? What is your feedback? Just let me know.
It's a very, very interesting one, and everyone have been interacted. Everyone have been making this session is very different totally because all the interactions comes into the different ideas we can take. A takeaway is very good actually. So that should be the practical. We are talking about general points like about the subject related. That is very interesting to listen. We can also give the examples when the people asked because we don't want blindly say this and this. We have been putting ourselves in circle. So now we can extend ourselves and then we can give the example, live example, what is happening, what is this. So for the next session also, we need a more inputs about what has happened of the outside of the country. Like so.
Perfect. So my request is that if we want to have a very detailed discussion, can we have an extra class for for 1 hour on any day? 1 hour.
So for me, it's a welcoming thing, but I don't know others because we are all in the different state of the people. So for me, it's always granted like in the weekdays of Saturday and Sunday because my company Saturday is off, so I'm very flexible. But I don't know other people have been working. That is what the request came, and they shifted the timing now. So better we can ask. And one more small suggestion, sir. Whatever you thought now, you can circulate that slides and then particularly of the takt time, if you have the basic thing, you can send it now so we can also work out when we come for the next session. So we'll have any doubts, we can go instead of wasting our time.
Well, I will. Your idea is very correct, but I will go in a different manner. I will really make sure that every material is circulated, but less. I will not share slides beforehand. That will confuse you more. First, let me explain the slides, then I will share the slides. That is not a problem. Also, yeah. Okay, so I want to really have hear from you. Please write in the chat box. Are you okay with? Uh,
Yeah, I want to touch upon one topic. Today, everybody's talk about the SMED. The